Hi, I'm Chef Keita. Welcome to Hunger Bites. Today I have an exciting co-host for you guys. If you can come on over here, I can introduce you. Hello and welcome. This is Fred Wasiak, CEO of Food Bank of South Jersey. Fred has done amazing things at the Food Bank of South Jersey. Fred, you want to tell us a little bit about what your role is at the Food Bank of South Jersey and maybe how it's how COVID has impacted the food bank and things like that?
Yeah,
and again, welcome.
Oh, thank you for having me. Finally.
I'm
here, Chef Keita. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you know, it's an exciting time, really is, despite what's going on in this pandemic.
Yeah.
But, you know, yes, what my role is just to ensure that my colleagues, you and our staff, all have the resources in order to meet this demanding need that we've had for the last 10 months and moving forward. So it's making sure we have the resources to keep going.
Yeah, and we've seen about, a 200% increase in the numbers that participants need food in the counties that we serve. So,
yes. Yeah, that's and it's not going away. So the last 10 months really has prepared us, you know, to understand that, has prepared us of what's coming, what we need to do for the next 18 to 24 months.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of work ahead.
Yeah, so we're here today to cook up some recipes using ingredients that participants actually get from a pantry in South Jersey, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so a little bit about the menu today. I actually went to Fred before the show and I said, Fred, what is your favorite food? And Fred came to me and he said, I love seafood. So, you know, I'm thinking seafood, S-E-A. Food, right? So all of our recipes today have to do with tuna. Fred actually meant seafood, S-E-E, food. So in other words, Fred is not shy when it comes to consuming food,
when
right?
I see it, I like to eat it, so I'm excited. And I'm excited about what we're going to
make today?
Put together
yeah,
today.
Good. So we have 3 recipes. We're making a budget-friendly sushi bowl, we're making a potato tuna patty, and we're making a tuna pico. Okay, so Fred is actually going to make our budget-friendly sushi bowl. What Fred's going to do now is put on gloves, more or less because the veggies that he's going to be cutting up, they're going to be ready. It's called ready to prepare food. So he's going to be cutting up fresh veggies and they're going to be consumed by myself and by Fred. So he puts gloves on, help to keep the bacteria away and things like that. And of course he has pre-washed his hands before he put the gloves on. Yep. So Fred, what you're going to do is you're actually going to take a cucumber.
Okay.
You're going to take a yellow pepper and a red pepper and your carrot, and you're going to cut them up. Actually, you're going to use a shredder for your carrot.
For the carrot. Okay.
But for the cucumber, if you can slice the cucumber as thin as possible, maybe just half the cucumber, and then you'll plate it here. Your yellow and red onion, you're going to cut them. Of course, try not to put any seeds in or leave any seeds. You're going to slice those.
Okay.
And then your carrot, we're going to leave our carrot. I always say, you know, rinse your veggies off, but leave that outside skin on there. And we're actually going to, and it's ways to not have food waste. You know, we're always talking about, you know, not wasting food. There's no reason to take a pillar and actually take that first layer off of your carrot. Leave it on.
Are there nutrients on that layer? More nutrients
of course.
than?
Well, not more nutrients. Same amount of nutrients, but it's more of that food waste mentality. You don't have to cut that first layer off. Like, as soon as if you wash it really well in cold water, and even if you have a veggie brush, you could scrub it or just use your hand and scrub it really good. And then you would take your carrot and use your grater and grate that up. But first, your cucumber, you're gonna dice it. Do you know how to hold your knife? Let me see how you hold your knife.
Of course I don't, so teach me here.
You wanna hold your knife pretty much where your blade and your handle meet. That's the most control, And then when you're slicing, you wanna kinda go in a down motion and away from you.
Okay.
Practice makes perfect. Another thing I want to tell you is about the claw. So the claw method is you're putting your thumb behind your forefingers, and so that way the blade is actually gliding with your fingers. So let me get a glove on to show you.
Oh,
You're actually going to put your knuckles, and you didn't do anything wrong. It's just, you know, if you ever see those chefs on TV and they're like,
yeah.
Look at their hands, and they're using the claw method.
And they still have their fingers.
And they still have their fingers,
Yeah,
and we
right.
want you to still have your fingers, because you have a very important job at the food bank,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, absolutely. Oh my goodness.
So yeah, so when you're cutting,
Oh, there we go.
yes, like this. So you're holding the vegetable stable. I don't know if you guys can see that at home. You're holding the vegetable stable, and you want to put your hand where the blade and the handle meet.
Okay.
And then you're just going to go in a down and see. And my blade, the tip of my blade really never leaves the cutting board. You see that?
Very
From
nice.
all angles.
All right.
And then we already have 3 right here.
Oh my gosh, we're
and then
halfway done.
Yeah, halfway done. And when you're
Okay.
done, you just place them right
Display.
here. And then you keep going.
All right.
And while Fred is doing that and keeping all his fingers intact, we're going to be making a, what are we making? A tuna potato patty. That's what we're making. Sorry about that, guys. But I did want to mention that we are using the processed cheese. It's fine to use the processed cheese. It comes in a container. You get the cheese block out. You cut your cheese block, and you actually make them into little crumbles here. I did this a little earlier to show you guys that it's just little crumbles that I made out of the cheese. And it does end up melting very well, and it's very tasty in this recipe. I actually tested this recipe a few times and realized that this cheese was actually the best cheese. I used other cheeses, and it didn't do what this cheese actually did. And then we're using canned potatoes. Canned potatoes, we do see this in the pantries. Feel free to use the canned potato. I've used the whole can of the canned potatoes. They're very soft, so they're very manageable. I'm actually going to add the seasoning to this at this point. The seasoning I'm using today is curry. Of course, I always try to season things differently. If you're always used to using, pepper and garlic, and you're kind of getting, tired of that flavor and tired of those recipes that you seem to have every week. Are we okay over here, Fred?
How's this display?
Very nice.
Very nice? Okay.
Very nice. Yeah, you can move on to your pepper
right.
now.
Can I put this right back in
Yep.
here?
So,
awesome.
yeah, so feel free to use any other seasonings that you have in your cabinet. If you notice here, it's already it's already dividing up into the potatoes and things. Next, we will take our tuna. We have 3 cans of tuna here. And the canned tuna is something that participants get quite often at the pantry. So I wanted to show these 3 recipes today, Fred, because these recipes have no mayo involved. I kept hearing people saying they had tuna, they don't have bread. They have tuna, they don't have mayo. But these recipes will show you that if you don't have bread, you don't have mayo, you could still use your tuna. Very flavorful recipes.
I love mayo, so this is going to, these
Might
new
wow you
techniques,
a little bit, yeah?
This is going to help.
Yeah,
me
those are
not
perfect.
use-
So yeah, we want to
What do you
do,
want
just like that. I'll just
Okay.
move this to the side so the viewers can see.
Is this enough?
Fred is doing a wonderful job.
A little more?
That could be, I would like a little, well, you know what, because we're doing the yellow peppers too, so
yeah.
that should be fine.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. What's the difference between a red and yellow pepper besides the color?
It's the way it's grown. So it's just, by the time they're fully grown, they'll be green.
Okay.
So then we have our tuna in here, we have our potato, we have our cheese and our curry, right? Mixing this all together. And the last step is to add that egg. That egg is a binder and will help form these patties that we're about to make here. You know
Sounds
what?
delicious.
I did forget one ingredient, and it's this onion. So, viewers at home, you may not know, but all of my colleagues know, I do not like raw onions. I don't know what it is. I just cannot. I can't. And Fred is sighing over here because he loves raw onions. And I actually, when I see people eat raw onions, I kind of envy them a little bit because I wish I could, but as soon as it gets in my mouth, it like ruins my whole day, to be honest. But I realized that there are certain recipes that I wanted to use raw onions in: potato salad, tuna salad, potato tuna patties. So what I've discovered, and I'm going to just change my glove real quick to show you guys a trick that your viewers at home, if you do not like biting into that raw onions, you can do at home. And it's a helpful way that it cuts up the onion so small that you're not biting into the onion. So you see I have a cheese grater here. I have an onion.
Are we going to cry over this?
Dad joke. So, Fred and his dad jokes, right? I won't cry over this, and you know why?
No. Why?
Because I have contacts in.
Oh.
So contacts is the one barrier that will help to eliminate, and I said eliminate, the crying when you cut up an onion.
All right, good. Well, my mask will cover my
But
crying.
hopefully, yes, hopefully you're glad. But we're not going to do too much.
Okay.
But what we're going to do is actually take the onion and actually grate it in the cheese grater. And it comes out very, very tiny. And when I tell you guys, like I've said already, I don't like raw onions, but this is the only way that I'm able to eat the raw onion in a recipe.
Wow.
And it gives you the flavor. And honestly, for some reason, I think it actually gives a more onion flavor because it's getting those oils out. I don't know if you smell it in the air already.
Oh, yeah.
The onion in the air, yeah.
That is.
So that's one thing that I do, one trick that I like to use if you at home do not like that raw onion crunch. So we got how are you doing over here, Fred?
Good. So just start grating?
Yep, just start grating.
Like
We're gonna grate long ways.
Like this way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, and just take your time because a cheese grater could cut you as well as a knife too. So you want to take your time and grate the carrot up there. Now I'm just going to get a glove on and finish up my potato tuna. But I do have a question for you, Fred.
For me? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Where do you get your inspiration from? I always, when I explain the type of person you are, I always say you're a wholesome person. I always say, I could go down a hallway and Fred could be coming down the hallway in a different direction and you will stop and you will look me in the eye and you will ask me a question and you will wait for my response and you will engage with me in a way that a lot of people have lost that touch, So that's why I say you're very wholesome. But where do you get your inspiration, your mentorship? Where does it come from? Where does it drive? Where do you get your
That's a very good question. The first part I'll answer is just what you said. My inspiration is working with like-minded, passionate colleagues at the food bank, which is just incredible. The other inspiration, now it's not going to be the onions that's going to help me start crying now. It's going to be my family.
Okay.
It's the family really is my inspiration
Nice.
from my wife to my 3 children. That goes a long way.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's wonderful to have a family, a support system that's right in your house, right?
Yeah.
It's always wonderful. Thank you, Fred.
Well, especially now that they're seeing me do this, I have no more excuses. So this is going to be interesting.
Now you got to make this at home.
Oh, hopefully I'll take it up a notch with my they'll be inspired by me, maybe, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But thank you very much.
No, thank you.
How about
Thank you for sharing. My inspiration has to be my children. Yeah, definitely. And the same. Working, my coworkers, I always say, with this pandemic, we are staying home more. But when we were in the office, because we all were nutrition majors, we all were, we all loved cooking.
Oh,
Just the ideas bouncing off each other and things like that. We all were like-minded. We all were very supportive. I will say we have Trishio. She is the senior manager of the department. It stems from her down, from you, and like you said, your colleagues and things like that. When everyone's driven and has this drive to do what we're doing here at the food bank, it just makes work so much better.
You don't consider it work?
No.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
or
I always say I love my job,
passion.
and not a lot of people can say they love their job. But I will honestly say I love my job.
And I know you do.
Oh, yeah.
There's no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So if you notice here, I made the patty, right? Easy breezy. Tuna fish, potatoes, onion, cheese, curry. That's it. And of course, if you don't have curry, if you don't have cheese, omit it. You don't have to have it in there. So what I would do here is I would spray down my pan at this point and then add my patty to the pan here like so. Fry it up. It would get brown like you see here, the brown. These patties are actually ready to come off. I will take them off in a second. But for now, I do want to do one more recipe for you before we take this off.
And the best way to transfer the carrots, do you need more or is this good?
That looks good.
And to transfer it to hand or use the knife?
The knife, if you do use your knife to transfer, you will use the back of your knife.
I know, see, there was a technique.
There's a technique, yeah. You want to use the back of your knife. If you want
Just like this?
Yep, just like that.
And how do you want this displayed?
Just right there, yep. And we can actually start finishing up your recipe actually here.
This is good.
I'm gonna try not to touch. I'm gonna let you do the
what
next part. So the next part is you're gonna get your tuna fish.
Do you like the hearts I made there? Isn't that cool?
Oh, that is cool.
All right, I just wanted to, my little artistic
It's fine.
challenge here. Okay.
So,
Where am I?
right here. So I was explaining to Fred before the show that we have mise en place.
Yes, I
Mise
learned.
en place. Do you remember the definition of mise en place?
Yeah, everything's in its place.
Everything in its place. So I had Fred's, all his supplies,
Awesome.
all of his vegetables, anything he needed was mise
here.
en place, which means everything in its place. So you have your tuna. So 1 can of tuna. It's gonna put it in a bowl there. And what this is, of course, because it's the sushi, so we wanted like a spicy tuna, but we didn't want the sodium. So what we're doing is actually adding a little mustard and a little cayenne pepper to this tuna. Different, right? You don't have mayo, but you have mustard. Put it in your tuna.
Go ahead,
ahead.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
I do know a trick about mustard, right?
Okay.
Before you squeeze the mustard out, what should you do?
Shake it,
Why?
because it gets water.
Yes! Gosh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I know something.
What?
This is awesome.
Mustard, ketchup, things like that. Yes. You should definitely,
To my liking, or?
to your liking. Yep.
I love mustard.
Good.
Okay.
So yep, the mustard, and then the cayenne is to your
Ooh.
liking too.
This
So
is- help me with this one.
help you with it.
I don't know. Yeah, this
You
is
don't-
something I usually don't use. So,
So cayenne is spicy. So I mean, I would maybe 3 or 4. Good. Yep. That's 1,
oh man,
2,
oh boy,
3.
we're gonna need some water
And
after this.
1 more.
Oh, awesome.
And then mix it all up. And I'm a big, I could view things and kind of see if it looks good. It looks like already that I think you might need a little bit more mustard in this.
Okay.
I like a lot of spice, so I would probably add a little bit more cayenne, but you can omit it right now. We don't want you, That's good. That's perfect. Yep. So basically as much as you would use like mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise. Oh boy,
Yep.
becomes mayonnaise soup.
And that's
Oh,
it,
this
yeah.
smells delicious. Mm-hmm. Nice combination.
Yeah, I would probably add a little bit more cayenne. Just trust me on this
Oh
one.
boy.
Just just a little bit. Fred said, "Oh boy," because he knows it's going to be some heat to this, but we'll be all right. So I'm just going to turn around and get our last recipe here underway. This is our tuna pico. So again, we're using tuna. Again, I've omitted the mayo that you would commonly see in tuna fish, and I'm actually using the canned tomato for this.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yep.
Good.
Yep. And I just want to put
So
a
why not
glove on-
tomato?
Why not tomato?
It is versus tomato. Is that?
Why do I say tomato and not tomato?
No, but I know there's been that.
Oh, I don't know. Is there a thing?
Something's like pillow, pello. Tomato,
Put
tomato.
potato.
Yes.
Yes, tomato, tomato.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Or-
I've never heard somebody say tomato, and I don't know if I would be able to keep a straight face if I heard somebody say tomato.
That's why.
That's why you wear the
covered.
mask.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
he's safe, right?
All right. So what do I do with that? Just wait.
Oh,
I'm
no,
good.
we're ready. So we're ready. So if you guys notice here, we have our red peppers, we have our yellow peppers, we have our carrots, we have our cucumbers, and we have,
Gotta put the brown rice down.
we're gonna put the brown rice in a second, and then it's okay. And then we have our tuna here. So we're gonna assemble our bowl, our budget-friendly sushi bowl. And of course, these veggies, if you don't have these veggies, use any veggies you like. I'm actually gonna hand this to the side here. Thank you. And then we have our 2 bowls up here. Yep. And if I can get a spoon, hand it to me, please. We have assistance on the side, which always is helpful, trust me. So, this is your recipe. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the brown rice, layer it with the brown rice. Do you know why we're using brown rice and not white rice, Fred?
It's the healthy grain behind the brown. It's not processed or bleached.
Yes. It's a whole grain. So we're gonna add half of the rice to this bowl and half the rice to this bowl. So whole grain means it's coming straight from the ground. It's not being stripped. When you get white rice, white flour, things like that, the manufacturer has actually stripped that whole grain down to make those products. And this is gonna fill you up longer. The whole wheat, the brown rice, it's gonna fill you up longer, especially if you have, maybe a big family and things like that. You wanna start getting your whole grains and
Yeah.
and this is a great way to do
That
it.
makes good sense.
Yep, so you put your brown rice at the bottom, and then what you do is you just beautifully add all of your vegetables. We also have lima beans here. These lima beans were actually, they were frozen. And what I did is just boil them a little bit. They still have a little bit of crunch to them, not crunch, but like a kickback to the bite. But you just assemble all around your bowl,
Okay.
your tuna, a few of the cucumbers. Yep, just like that.
Oh boy, it's gonna be fun.
All around it, yep.
This looks so good.
And while he's doing that, I will start the tuna pico salad. I do need another spoon or spatula, if I may. That's fine, thank you.
So, Chef Katie, can I ask you a question?
Of course. So I'm adding tuna to the bowl. I'm gonna try not to interrupt you, Fred, but
No, you got work to do.
I have work to
Passion
do.
in you.
Yes, what's that?
How do you not, as a professional chef, how do you not nibble while you're preparing?
Well, being a chef, you know not to eat while you're cooking. I mean, the biggest thing is your saliva and things like that. I mean, even if you're sick, if you have your runny nose, a cough, or anything like that, you're supposed to stay home. So things like that help.
Yeah.
When you're Serve Safe certified, and my viewers, if you are Serve Safe certified, you've been drilled time and time again not to eat while you're cooking and things like that. Now,
Good answer.
on the flip side of things, you should taste your food, because you want to make sure it tastes good, right?
But there's a process to do that.
But there's a process,
Yes.
right? You use a clean spoon every time. Sometimes after a while, you end up knowing it tastes good.
Yeah.
You just kind
Of
of
course.
view it, and you just know that something's just going to be really good. So all I did here was put some tuna fish in this bowl here. I will add some canned tomatoes. Of course, we always want to use reduced sodium or low sodium products. If you do have a canned product, you always want to rinse your ingredients inside off in a sink of cold water. So we'll just add some of this. And this actually gives it moisture. You can actually stop here. If you notice, it gives it moisture. It's not dry, like just right out the can. But what I'm gonna actually do, again, is the method of the raw onion with the cheese grater here. Just add a little bit of raw onion to this. How are you doing over there, Fred?
Oh.
Looks good. Looks good.
Trying to get fancy here.
And you know what happens, like we talked about that cayenne pepper earlier?
Yeah.
The vegetables actually cool down your mouth while you're eating it. So it's not as bad.
Nice.
Yeah, so go ahead.
Where do I put these?
The lima beans, right in there.
Right in there?
Yep,
All
right in there. So I am going to use a jalapeno pepper. This is the pico side of things. When you use your jalapeno pepper, you do want to kind of use a glove. I don't know if you guys at home know, but a pepper, if you get it in your eye, if you get it anywhere, sometimes even on your skin, depending on how hot the pepper is, it can really do some damage. So you do want to try to use a glove if you can. Some people have cut peppers for so long that they don't need a glove, and more power to you. But I will always promote using a glove when you're cutting your pepper. And all I'm doing is finely dicing the pepper using my claw method that we talked about with Fred earlier.
Cool.
Are you done over there?
I have one more thing. This
Yeah.
goes right on top.
Yep. Put your,
Oh my goodness.
yep.
I'm getting hungry.
Good, as you should, because we got 3 recipes here you're gonna be trying in a little bit and letting our viewers at home know how it tastes. So I have the jalapenos in there, of course, flavor to your liking. If you want more jalapenos, use more jalapenos. If you don't have jalapenos, use your cayenne pepper, use a black pepper. You do not have to have a jalapeno pepper to make this recipe. I will have 1 clove of garlic here. So the clove of garlic has this skin on the outside. What I do is I press, and I don't know if you guys, matter of fact, let me move this over a little bit so you guys can see my cutting board. If you notice the garlic here, Fred, do you know how to take the skin off of the garlic?
Something with a
With a fist?
with a pound or something.
You could use your hand, yes, you could. I have done
All
it
right.
plenty of times. I've pressed down with my hand, or you can use your blade of your knife. sometimes when I'm teaching with the younger children, we do have plastic blades, and we use the blade of the knife for to take the skin off, and it comes right off. Yep, comes right off. And then you just dice it up, and everyone knows pico is what? It has the garlic, it has the jalapeno, it has the tomatoes, and then usually a little cilantro. And of course, like I always say, if you don't have it, don't worry about it. The biggest thing I want the viewers at home to see is that the tuna and the tomatoes together will bring this dish to life without having to use your mayo.
Yeah.
So we have
like
this
that.
here, and then we're going to use a little lime there, and then some cilantro. I honestly couldn't find fresh cilantro at the store. They had this, so I used this, right? That's what we use. We use what we have, right? So a little bit of cilantro. It looks good, right?
Very good.
See that, guys, at home? And then you can eat this just like this. You don't have to put it over bread. I mean, if you have a tortilla chip, it might be really good with a tortilla chip, right? Even if you have tortillas, cut the tortillas, bake them in the oven, you have your chips. If you want to, put it with a regular chip, you can do that too. But you can honestly just eat this with a fork. You don't have to put anything with it. See that?
Wow.
So yeah. So are you ready to eat?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I am the official taste tester, so.
He is. Can you explain what the official taste tester is? What do you mean by that?
Well, I have an official certificate, the official taste tester of the Food Bank of South Jersey, signed by the one and only Chef Kita.
Yes.
Because before we went hybrid model, staff working remotely, I would, anytime I smell this wonderful preparations in the kitchen, of course, I had to go down and make sure everything was in proper order.
And he came down every time.
Every time. And I miss it. So this is really making up for it. But,
yeah. So we made him a certificate. He is the official taste
15,
tester.
20 different black bean recipes.
Oh, yeah.
On and on. And
yes.
we do miss that, but I know every once in a while when you come in to prepare for all the work that the whole department's doing, it is nice to have that aroma come back to the
And to tell everyone at the food bank that you are the official taster.
I am the
right?
official taste tester.
So he definitely gets a taste every time. But
Yes.
we're going to cut to a commercial break. When we come back, Fred is going to try all of these recipes, let me know how they taste.
Oh, my goodness.
And then we'll see you soon, honestly. Yeah.
Plan your New Jersey trip at visitnj.org. Waves of fun. Nights of excitement. And a trail of memories. Now that's New Jersey.
This plus this equals this plus this and this. Don't drink and drive.
Listen, what will make your event simply beautiful? Is it your attire, your decorations, your entertainment? Well, join me, Alicia Simone, as I chat with some amazing vendors and clientele who will share their stories and images and their experiences. Right here on RVN TV, Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. and Wednesday at 4 p.m. It will be simply beautiful. See you then.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Hi, welcome back. It's my favorite part. I'm sure it's Fred's favorite part. We get to try all the food. So our first thing we're going to try is our budget-friendly sushi bowl here. Has all the fresh veggies in it, the brown rice. We actually flavored our tuna with the mustard and the cayenne pepper. So taste it and let me know what you think. Sometimes I wish the viewers at home could hear the humming and the breaths of the co-host.
That has a nice pop to it, and it's absolutely delicious.
Thank you, thank you.
Well done.
You want to try the next? All right, so we're going to try the tuna potato patty. This is tuna, canned potato. We have our curry in here. That's where the curry just makes it so much more flavorful than if I was to just add the pepper and the garlic. What do you think? Yeah.
It's just,
His face says it all, right?
this is marvelous. Each
Thank
one's
you.
getting better.
Yes, good. And then our last thing is our tuna pico. Tuna pico, like I said, you could just eat it right with your fork. So fresh. Tuna fish, canned tomatoes, some jalapenos in there, cilantro, a little bit of lime. Yeah? Oh,
Cheers. My
cheers.
goodness.
Cheers, I love it. I meant to mention we have our infused water. I always talk about infusing your water with some type of fruit. We have lemon, we have blueberry in this water, so we can wash down our recipes with a delicious treat.
Why do they? It's too bad they just call it tasting, because this is delicious.
Yeah. Well,
Well
the good
done.
thing about it is that, even though our viewers are leaving us, we'll still be here and you can finish out your meal, right?
That's what I'm talking about.
So
Yes.
thank you, Fred, CEO of Food Bank of South Jersey, for joining me. I hope you can come on again for another show. This was wonderful. I definitely loved having you.
Well, thank you, and I will be back. And congratulations on the success of this show and all that
you.
you're doing for the food bank in our communities. We
Thank
appreciate
you. Thank you. And thank you, our viewers at home. Again, we are looking for donations. If you would, go to foodbanksj.org. $1 equals 3 meals for someone in the counties that we serve. We serve Burlington, Camden, Gloucester, and Salem counties.
Yep.
So thank you again for joining us at Hunger Bites, because quite frankly, hunger bites. See you next time.
Bye-bye.